Right, good morning, welcome back. Okay, now fire and first aid safety. First of all, this is not a video about either of those things. This is simply equipment. I've been a mechanic all my life and I've worked in garages from my home in the back garden right up to this place. And it can be a dangerous environment, and covering yourself for first aid in case you hurt yourself or fire in case you set fire to something, well obviously that's very important indeed, and I've always been conscious of it. Now I've always had fire extinguishers and I've always had a first aid kit, but in the big push to move into this place, well my stuff just got left because it was okay, it was working. But now we've made all the investments in this place, now we can turn a little bit of investment money to some updated and upgraded equipment. Let's get the big box and I'll show you what we've got. Right, now that was a pretty sizable investment as you can see, but every time I looked at the next thing I thought, well I could do with that as well, and I could do with them, and I could definitely do with that. So this was this was the basket, and here it is. And I don't regret a single bit of this investment. All of this is useful. So let's split it into two. We'll put the first aid equipment to one side and we'll deal with the fire equipment first. Okay, fire extinguishers. Now, I have to start by saying right here, I am not qualified to teach fire safety. I'm just going to tell you what I've got, things to consider. I've invested in a CO2 extinguisher, which as you look at them, they clearly denote on the extinguisher itself what they cover. There are 4 or 5 types of fire, everything from wood to electrical to burning fuel to all kinds of things. So make sure you get the right extinguisher for what you intend to extinguish. And in this case, the CO2, it tells me quite clearly on it, it covers type B and electrical fires. Type B being burning fuel. So in a garage situation with vehicles, with oils, grease, liquids, petrol, all that sort of thing, I've got the possibility of burning fuel and burning liquids, and electrical. Obviously, there's electrics on the vehicle and of course in the building as well. So CO2, and the great thing with CO2, it leaves virtually no residue, unlike the powder extinguishers. I invested in 2 of these because a powder extinguisher pretty much covers almost everything. It covers type A, B and C and electrical, which is practically all fires. But please do the research for yourself. Please make yourself happy with what you've got in your garage. Don't take my word for it. Don't follow this video as a guide. This is what I've done for my garage and I'm very happy with my choices. 2 powder extinguishers because I want one either end of the building. This is a big space. It's 35 feet from one side to the other and I want one within 10 or 15 feet at all times. So the CO2 is going in the middle and the powder are going each end, and they'll cover everything that hopefully never happens in this garage. And these, well, these are disposables. 0.6 of a kilo, no bigger than an aerosol can, and really dinky and handy. Now, one's going to go on the welding trolley, this one's going to go in the car, and that one, well, that will go in the Goldwing luggage because once again, it's the size of an aerosol can, so why not? Now I've got a fire extinguisher on my Goldwing as well. Fantastic. So I bought a trio of them, treated myself. Now let's put those away and let's put these on the wall and then move on to the first aid stuff. Right, okay, now the same goes for first aid equipment as does for fire equipment. I'm not teaching first aid or fire safety here. This is just about equipment, things to consider for your garage. And the backbone of any equipment has to be your first aid kit. Pretty much straightforward, a standard first aid kit. I've elected with a 5-person kit. That's quite a big kit. You can get them bigger, right up to 50 people, but that's a 5-person kit. Plenty, there's only me in here and there's everything I need in there. And just one thing I've always noticed, if you use something out of your first aid kit, replace it. You can buy all the stuff that's in them separately. So replace it and keep it topped up so it's always full. I think that's obvious. And the other thing with mine, I've supplemented it with a bottle of burns gel, pain relief gel for burns and scalds, because in what you do here, you pick up bits of hot metal all the time, you burn yourself, namely your hands, so a little bit of gel, and that's far nicer than just running it under the tap. So those two are going to go in the drawer in the kitchen, and I'm going to put a sticker on the drawer front so anybody coming in to help me knows where it's kept. It's common sense, isn't it? Let's do that bit first. Right, okay, now again, eye wash. This is almost a separate part of first aid, because when you work in this environment, you're going to get stuff in your eyes at some point or another. As much as you try and wear eye protection, it won't hit you. You won't get stuff in your eyes when you're wearing eye protection in the right way at the right time, doing the job safely on the lathe, on a grinder, on a drill, on a pillar drill, or even welding, for goodness sake. You wear all the relevant protection. But it's when you're sweeping the floor and you get a dust of wind come in the doorway, blows all the dust up, and that's it, it's in your eyes. Or you get your airline, blow your lathe off, a little piece of swarf hits you in the eye. Now the natural thing is to do that, obviously, because it stings, it's a bit weird, and you've rubbed it in. And I've had the horrible experience twice in my life of sitting in a hospital with my face locked in the slit lamp, having pieces of rusty metal dug out my eyeball the next day by a doctor. It ain't funny, it really isn't. So if you get anything in your eye, I don't touch it now. I reach for a bottle of saline. This is all it is, saline water, completely sealed. This is the stuff you get in the chemist for your contact lenses, and that's what I've always used. You crack that open and then you can wash it out. Just irrigate, because it's a squishy bottle. You can squeeze it all out and wash that foreign matter away without touching it. Of course, your hands are dirty as well, so that's great. But if anybody else comes here to help me, then they're not going to know what that is, or that they can use it or not, especially if I can't say so. So honestly, that's not the best idea. Do have it, because it works, and I've used that for years. But I saw these when I was shopping for the first aid. Brilliant. We've got two options. This is the big 1-point bottles of saline. So you can break the seal, squeeze it through. If you've got a serious issue, a really sharp piece of metal, or it's really painful, or fluid, say something bursts back or explodes in your face and you've got fuel or petrol or something in you can literally send that whole bottle of saline over the area and completely irrigate it, then get yourself off to hospital for some treatment. Seriously, if you break one of these open for just a little squirt and it's gone, you've then trashed it, because 30 days later you have to throw that away. Any bottle of saline, once you broke the seal, it only lasts a month and you throw it out, and I've only got 2 in the kit. So what I also invested in is this little thing as well. I love this. This is basically 10 small plastic vials of saline, and you break one off, crack it open, and then it will wash out a bit of dust. So if it's not serious, if it's just a little bit of dust and it won't go away, just get one of them, crack, boom, done. And you haven't broken a bottle of saline, which you've got to throw away. So just common sense. I've got both, why not? So these are going to go up in the bathroom in a safe place. And because if anyone else comes in, they want to know where they are, then I'll put that on the door so they know. Let's get them up. Right, in dealing with all this, when I was shopping, I came across these. I was looking for the right size first aid kit. I got my 5-person one from my drawer, and I just thought, hang on a minute, a motorcycle first aid kit? Never seen that before, not that size. Honestly, that's amazing. There's no scale on them on the picture. You can't really see how big they are till you get them, and they're literally no bigger than your hand. Tiny little thing, and it weighs 8 ounces. That would fit neatly underneath the back seat of a sports bike. That is so easy to carry, and 8 ounces, it's no extra weight. Now the price, incredible, they're £7.75. I'll leave a link underneath to these. For less than £8, you can cover yourself. That's amazing. Now they're not probably that comprehensive. We'll have a look in a second. But all you've got to do, if you arrive at the scene of a collision and there's somebody injured, you've only got to get between that point and when the ambulance arrives, and that's usually pretty quick. So seriously, there doesn't need to be a great deal in here. So let's have a quick look what is in here, see if they're a comprehensive enough kit to be worth it. Let's have a look. Okay, let's have a look. We have on the one side medium trauma dressing, scissors, proper hefty scissors, cut leathers, cut bike gear, like that. On this side, we've got sterile gloves, an airway, lots of sterile wipes, some plasters, and a burns relief gel, burn care dressing, and even a little comprehensive first aid leaflet should you need it. It's comprehensive enough to get you for that moment when you arrive through to when the ambulance arrives. The big trauma dressing, that could save a life. And being able to get to the wound, to put the trauma dressing on it, well, that's facilitated by the ambulance guy scissors. I mean, they're these scissors, they can cut pennies in half. They're proper tough kit. And all of the relevant other stuff, sterile stuff, gloves to take care of yourself if you're dealing with a patient, all that sort of thing. Now, you can add stuff to this. If you don't think there's enough in there, for what it costs is £7.75. It's not expensive. So put some more gear in, put some more dressings in there. There's room in the bag. You can add to it if you wish, but seriously, £7.50, 8 ounces, stick it under the seat of your bike and you're covered. So that's it. Now, today's video has been about equipment, not teaching anything. So please excuse if it's felt that way, but it isn't. This is just things to consider to carry on your bike, in this case, and with the fire extinguisher, the little disposable, and at the same time, equipment for your space where you work to keep yourself safe. So there we are. Thank you for watching. Take it easy, ride safe. We'll see you next time.